Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. My guest at this time is actress and craft maker Matasha Weaver.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. So tell us, Matasha, what inspired you to start making your own craft business?
I had so much old jewelry that was just falling apart, and I started fixing it, and then people were like, "Oh, I really like what you did with that, and you should make more." So I did, and here we are.
Was it something because you had more time during the pandemic, or was this pre-pandemic?
Oh, it was pre-pandemic. I've been making jewelry for, oh gosh, 7 or 8 years probably. It's been a long time.
And what is the thing that people like most about your crafts?
You're breaking up a little bit there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I froze. What is it that people most like about your crafts?
Um, I tend to do things that I like, which is really nerdy, like fandom type stuff. And then I throw in some like little just pretty stuff too. But I think a lot of people are on that same level of like they have a TV show that they really like or a movie that they really like, and when they can find something that's customizable to what they want and able to have a theme that they're really interested in, I think that's what draws a lot of people in.
Do you get like a lot of requests for certain TV shows?
I do. Actually, I'm working on a Lucifer themed bracelet right now for someone. She wanted a Lucifer themed bracelet, and um, we're working on trying to mimic a necklace that one of the main characters wears. So we'll see how it turns out.
Do you have any up and coming shows where people can buy your stuff in person, or should they just purchase it online?
No, actually, I am. Well, yes, my website. Well, my Facebook page is always open for orders and customizing just about anything. I do have a show as of right now, unless COVID has a different plan. The Holly Jolly Festival, which is November 20th, I do believe, or 22nd, and it's at Buchanan at the Armory.
Okay, you'll be there all day.
Yeah, I think we're there like 10 to 5.
All right. um, so, other than that, I've known you for a long time, and I've known that you are an actress also.
You're going to tell our age, Dan.
um, so, is there like a certain film or a certain actress that drew you into that world?
I mean, I've always been a very dramatic person. um, and it's true. I'm very dramatic. But when I was a kid, we watched, of course, Disney movies and things like that. But we watched a lot of like reruns of I Love Lucy, and Lucille Ball
Uh,
really influenced me because I was like, oh, she's quirky and she's silly and she's fun, and that's kind of how I am too. And of course, she's gorgeous and just hysterical. So I think Lucille Ball really drew me into wanting to get into acting. And then, of course, there were just so many community opportunities with Buchanan Community Theater that I was able to start acting on stage, like in big scale productions when I was 9.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
been doing it
me
for
it
a
was
while.
Robin Williams. Uh,
Oh, of course, Robin Williams. Yeah. Actually, I have a genie tattoo. Hold on, I'm in my car. Sorry, I'm driving, but I have a genie tattoo
Aw.
of the Robin Williams genie with his lamp.
That was like
Actually, I'm
when I
gonna.
saw that role, and And I saw him in Mrs. Doubtfire and The Energy and Flubber and all those other movies. I kind of
Mhm.
knew I wanted to do something similar to that because I kind of
Right.
gravitated towards him.
Right. Well, and I think, in light of recent events with Robin Williams and his death, it kind of makes sense to me why I gravitate more toward wanting to act, because I do suffer from anxiety and depression, and it's
Mhm.
kind of nice to have that outlet to channel that to, and to really escape from reality for a little bit. And that's kind of always been my goal as an actress, was if I could make my character so believable and so real that someone forgets where they are and all they can focus on is what's happening in that moment in that show, then I've done my job.
Is there a certain role, because all the roles, matter and are dear and close to every actor's heart, but is there one
Of
that stands
course.
out to you the most?
Um, oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it's always nice to have that lead role, but I enjoy just being in the background a lot too. One of my favorites, of course, was Nancy and Oliver, because that's just been a dream role for me from the time I was little. But one of my favorites was playing Humpty Dumpty in Shrek, the sequel. I literally was in like 3 scenes, and I just got to hang out and enjoy being with my other actor friends, and sing from the wings backstage, and then come out and have like this little moment where I go crazy and freak flag. And it was nice because it was stressful, of course. Any show is stressful, but it's a different kind of stress than having to memorize a million lines and be in almost every scene. and
Right.
and it still takes just the same amount of dedication to make sure that the character is correct. But it's nice sometimes just to chill in the background and enjoy time off stage with your co-stars and your co-actors, and just sometimes hanging out in the green room watching it on the screen is just as fun.
Oh yeah. I think for me it's Fiddler on the Roof in
Mhm.
Ohio. When I did summer theater, we probably had about 50 to 55 actors.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so sometimes like in that whole scene, you're like, what's going on over there? Or what's
Right.
doing that over there? I don't
Right.
even see you over there. But I
That was
remember we
actually one of the second shows I ever did
had
when
aw.
I think I was 10 or 11. And I was just a little Jew girl.
we
Channeled my inner Barbara.
yeah, in Barber. But
Stab.
we had to do a radio commercial, and there's like all 40, 50 of us in the room.
Oh
and
wow.
and so I wanted to make sure that I was heard. So like we were singing the song Tradition. So sometimes I would go like up
Tradition.
higher. So you'd hear like
Oh
an
my
inflection. So everyone would be like Tradition. I'd be like Tradition, so I get a little. And so when the radio turned on, they're like, "Is that you, Dan?" I go, "Probably."
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
That's my 2 seconds of putting me over.
I had my first experience with a radio type show this past year because COVID. Buchanan Community Theater couldn't do their stage production of
Mhm.
um, Christmas Carol, so we made it into a radio broadcast, and it's a whole different level when you're voice acting versus stage acting, because you have to think about, I played Mrs. Cratchit, which is a role I've played 2 or 3 times in years past when DCT has done it, so I know the character pretty well. But it's totally different when you don't have the facial expression and the different body movements to convey what emotion you're trying to get across. So you really have to think about what your voice is doing, and how the character really sounds, because you don't have you don't have that extra movement and extra costuming and everything to really drive it home.
I always think when we did the show in Kentucky, there was the guy who played the Ghost of Christmas Present, and he was always he's very much a character, and he would always yeah, he was. So he would always do he always would do this turn before doing his speech. You would be like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, and then he would project and
oh my goodness,
you would just watch it unfold. You're like, here's the
okay,
turn, and there's the line. And because
goodness.
he was so boisterous and over the top, the next year, because when they say there's no workhouses or the whole line, they played that in the speakers because he was so big. So the next actually plays and you hear this echo. And the actor knew him and he goes, is this when I do the turn? And we're all laughing.
Oh gracious, I love it.
Sometimes it's those little things, but yeah, in that experience of working with in Kentucky, the insulation would fall during the show too. It would literally fall from the roof down to the stage. And
that's crazy.
Tiny Tim's delivering the line and he's like, God bless us, and he's just like trying to not get hit.
Oh my goodness, that's
I was gonna
nuts.
put hard hat on him.
I've performed in some sketchy places before, but that sounds crazy.
I was gonna put a hard hat on him.
I don't think we've ever had anything falling from the ceiling on us that wasn't supposed to.
I mean, it wouldn't have hurt, but it throws you off,
Well, but still, yeah, any kind of distraction like that, it's hard. I know we do productions of the Rocky Horror Show, and there's a lot of audience interaction in that, so you have to really think on your feet and how to react, because sometimes it's completely unscripted. When you're acting with a live audience, they throw out a comment and you want to clap back at them, kind of roast each other a little bit, especially with a show like Rocky, because you can just say whatever you want to insult the audience and they love it. But it's totally different when you have things falling on you, or audience people screaming at you, or a piece of your set breaks. That's happened to me before, or a prop malfunctions, and you have to really think about a quick response to that. You can't just stand there and freeze.
You can't no-sell it.
Yeah. You can't just be like, okay, guess the show's over, bye.
Tweet about it.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of the Halloween spooky season, is there a certain movie or movies that you enjoy during this time of year?
I mean, Halloween and scary movies are year-round. Let's get that straight. It doesn't just have
it's not like
Halloween
October 31st when the door comes down.
I mean, I have a room in my house that is solely dedicated to spooky, scary stuff. So of course my favorite growing up as a kid in the 90s would be Hocus Pocus. Obviously one of my all-time favorites. And any of the old slasher films, the remakes are okay. They're what they are for a remake. But the original, Halloweens, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Jason movies, all of those are, the original Chainsaw Massacre is one of my all-time favorites. And again, the remakes deserve respect as well. However, the originals are always going to trump any remake.
Yep. Are you
but
excited
I watch
for
them year-round.
Are you excited for Hocus Pocus 2?
I am so excited. I am just waiting with bated breath. I cannot wait until it comes out. I'm excited to see what they do 20 plus years later.
Do you have any favorite lines from the movie that jump
Max Max really likes your yabos. In fact, he loves them. I mean, everyone has that way, like why was I cursed with such idiot sisters, or I smell children, or ooh, boys love me, or things like that. But I like the kind of like quippy one-liners, or like where Billy cuts his mouth open and he's like, hag. Those are the lines that really get me, are the ones that are kind of like, they're there, but a lot of people overlook them because they're not coming from necessarily a main character.
Yeah.
And the two chuckleheads that pick on Max all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like when they're talking about when she says dead man's chungs, and they're like, chungs, what are chungs? And they're like spitting into their cages, and it's like just little things like that, little tiny lines, like one-liners are always what really get me.
My thing is, I enjoy when he meets the bullies in the cemetery, and they're like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "L.A." And they're like, and he's like, "Los Angeles." They're like, "Oh."
Yeah. Or then he's like, "My name's not Ernie no more. It's Ice." And then he turns around and he's got ice shaped in the back of his head. Yeah.
This is
like
ice.
The lines like that are what I enjoy more than the big the big overly quoted lines.
Oh yeah. That and Amok Amok is always one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, of course. And talking about like scary movies and stuff, one I forgot to mention, anything with Vincent Price is on the top of my list. But the original House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price is one of my all-time favorite movies. And anything Alfred Hitchcock, Vertigo, Rear Window, Birds, like Psycho, all of them. My mom had, of course, back, when we were kids, we had VHS tapes. And she had the old VHS tapes of Alfred Hitchcock Hour, where he had his TV series. And he would introduce a story, and then you'd get like 25 minutes of the story playing out. I used to love watching those. I loved it.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed, and Psycho. That's always a good one too.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's so many. I subscribe to Shudder, so I watch all those like indie kind of B films that are on there all the time. And I like those a lot too, like sometimes more than the big production type movies.
So what is your goals, or where do you see yourself heading in 2022?
Hopefully back on stage. I mean, I hope that people make smart choices, and that the world makes smart choices, and our government makes smart choices, so that we can get back to normal and actually have theater season. I know Broadway just opened back up, so I'm hoping our little small town theater that we have will be able to actually do some shows in 2022, because 2 years of having a dark season is just detrimental to the arts community. So hopefully back on stage. And,
is there a certain show or role that you're waiting for in the future?
I'm playing it now.
Me.
No, I am. It's awesome. Like, again, Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies, and I got cast with a local company as Mary Sanderson.
Oh, okay.
To do a couple stage shows and some like meet and greets and trunk or treats and things like that. So I'm really excited. Is
that like
it's the Glass Slipper Company.
Oh, the Glass Slipper Company. Is that here?
Yeah, Little Glass Slipper out of Weston. They do princess parties and different character meet and greets and things like that. So I'm really excited to be a part of the team, and officially as of yesterday a part of their team, and working on this project with them. So
do you have a vacuum with your
I don't know. Like, our stage is kind of small. So the stage that we're on, and we thought the least amount of props would probably be best, because it's really only like a little 15-minute stage show. But it's awesome. We pack so much into that 15 minutes. It's going to be really good. It's in Charleston, West Virginia, at their
Okay.
Pride Festival that they're doing. It's at
Oh.
5 o'clock tonight on the
Oh, that's
Starling
awesome.
stage. So I'm excited. That's where I'm headed now, which is why I have no hair done, no makeup on or anything, because I have to go down there and get ready and full wig, makeup, all that. So I just didn't even do anything because I know I have to do that.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to promote or plug before we go?
Dan-A-Plooza, duh. Tune in to all the other awesome guests.
Yep, we have
Oh goodness.
5 more guests today, so.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I hopefully once I get to the hotel, I can tune into everything and watch them and go back and watch the plays. And I'm excited to hear everyone's conversations.
Yeah, Cassandra's next. Cassandra is a model, and she has her jewelry. And
Oh, awesome.
yep, and then Mark Tarano was a zombie in Day of the Dead with George Romero.
Ooh, that's another one of my favorites too.
Yeah. And then at 3, Michael Ocho. He's a pro wrestler. He's an actor. I know that he is involved in ministry. And
Oh,
then
very
at
cool.
4, it's James Quinn. He's an actor, producer. And then at
Awesome.
8, my friend Alaska, who is voiceover talent and actress. She was a featured extra in Halloween Kills that's coming out October 15th. So.
Oh, cool. That'll be exciting. I'm excited to watch all of them.
Yep. So, all right. Well, we're going to go ahead and end the show. And I want to thank everybody for watching and keep supporting Dan-A-Plooza. And make sure to stop by and see Matasha at any shows or follow her on her Facebook page or Instagram. Have a good day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.